True, kind of effed up. But, I lived it. This is the first time I am going to tell this story. A few days ago, I finally closed that chapter for good. And I need to get it out to metaphorically put pen to paper and slide this part of the book in a box in the garage. I got divorced from my children's mother in 2009 and it destroyed me. I went on a downward spiral for a few years. I had never planned for that, I was all in. Wife, kids, career as a firefighter/EMT. What more is there to ask for? That didn't happen, so here comes ego, victim mentality equals self-destruction, and amid all that chaos, I met a girl who changed everything. Or at least I thought at the time. The first woman after my divorce to see me for me. Her behavior at the time was deeper than a superficial connection. And I fell for her hard. We lived 2 hours away. I would leave work at 11 p.m. on Friday to drive to her and spend my free time driving back Monday by noon to make my shift, every weekend for a year and a half. I took my kids with me and introduced them to hers. Things went well enough we got married. And this is where the story gets fucked up. We had agreed while dating that we wouldn't move in together unless we were married. We got married. I take 10 days off of work to go on a honeymoon. I have to come back home 2 hours away to get back to work. Arrangements were made for her and her kids to be moved in through the week. Thursday was move-in day. I got phone calls and messages all week. Everything was going as planned. Friday comes, no her, no kids. By lunch, the phone goes silent. Well, ain't that something? Was my very first thought. There were things said in messages earlier in the week I will get to in a moment. So I didn't immediately drive 2 hours to the house. I had a pretty good idea of what was going. Monday comes along and a friend I made from her town calls me to inform me that she had moved in with another guy on Monday afternoon. About 6 hours after I left for work. The next morning after this phone call I filed to terminate the marriage. Crushed again. But this time I got played. The indicators were instant infatuation with me getting her on my health insurance plan at work. Her messages that week got more intense the closer to the move-in day. That was confirmed when I drove up there to pick up the Jeep I had left for her to use. The insurance card I left was cut up into little pieces and left on the passenger seat. I don't stop there. I am a thinking, logical person under distress. I'm a firefighter, it's where I live. But the stupid thing you will do when your heart is hurting and you want it to stop doesn't make sense to a logical person. Well, 6 months go by and she calls me. This guy and her had a falling out and he assaults her and leaves her and the kids stranded. What do? I got running to the fucking rescue. All the time thinking, okay, I have them back, the bigger man wins. Blah blah blah. Nope. Wrong. She jets 2 weeks later right back to the other dude. Several years go by. I'm still running on ego and victim mentality. I got a call from her. She is in a position to want to give it another try on the up and up. This time she said she developed feelings at some point and wanted to try to get them back. Is that so? Was my first thought. I was in a bad relationship I was looking for a reason to get out of. What better time to get revenge? I think quick on my feet and adapt. I can use this girl the same way she did me to get me out of a bad situation, make her fall for me, and then break her fucking heart. So that is what I did. So well, she moved to another state for a fresh start. And to outrun the embarrassment I caused her. A lot more years go by and I have heard from her a few times. I am kind and pleasant. I feel guilty for what I did back then. This all happened almost 15 years ago. I have grown to become a better person. Until a few days ago. The conversation was different. She called to tell me about a recent breakup she had. And man, if the story didn't sound like exactly what she did to me. I'm not even joking, but she wanted me to accept her pity party and validate her that what she did was right. Because this guy wouldn't back her. The way she described this guy was a stand-up hard worker who had his life together, normal blue-collar, hard-working, good-hearted guy. He wasn't toxic enough for her. She fucks this guy over and then plays the victim when he is upset by it. It was every ounce of my composure not to lose my shit. I didn't. I kindly said I do not want you to contact me again. I then blocked her on every possible way to communicate with me. I only accepted the prior phone calls because they had boundaries. The old me would have blasted this all over social media. The new me is doing it this way to clear it out of my mind and move on in my life. Kindness is a wonderful thing, but it can only go so far. My guilt is gone. I have done the only thing someone can do when they wrong someone. Don't do it again to anyone. Learn from it. And do better. She is still playing her game and leaving a trail of pain behind. I have nothing but empathy for her. She is very broken.